This short clip is from my live trading room. You can engage directly with my fabulous team and me at LaDucTrading.com for all our research and trades. Or for just my daily live streams, you can access via YouTube memberships. All links are in the description. The focus that I've had has been this rotation softening in semis. This was last week on the 25th of June. It's now the 1st. And this bounce in MAG, we'll call it mega cap tech, but it's also MAG 7. It's also hyperscalers. There's a little wiggle room to the definition, but you get the idea. The stuff that's oversold would bounce, and the stuff that was overbought would soften. So we have MAG 7 that has definitely bounced this week. And you can see the support that I said was back here in September 2025. That's a MAG 7 ratio, cap weighted. And now it is bounced from 151 to 163. This is not tradable, but MAGS is. And MAGS is over here looking like this. I literally wrote that right here on the bottom. So we've gone from, let's call it 61, and we are pre-market in MAGS, and this is tradable, 65. Not a bad little 1 week bounce. And who is leading the game here? Oh, look at this. Boom. Okay, so what's happening? Meta just announced that they're building a cloud business. You heard that right. And more importantly, they're announcing they're going to sell excess AI compute. Wait a minute. So Meta has spent billions in CapEx. Remember, we've talked about this, and they do not have ownership in Anthropic, equity ownership in Anthropic or OpenAI, like Amazon, like Google. They're the odd man out. They're negative free cash flow, all that jazz. They've added subscription pricing. That did not help. It did not help them get above that line in the sand, which was 638, and it had to get above 638 in order to really be bullish. Well, it failed week after week after week after week. And then this week, with our MAG 7 thesis here of a bounce, they announce, look at this, they have something called excess compute. What the hell is that? They're going to sell excess compute to other companies. So we've been told that hyperscalers are compute constrained. What the? So Meta is skyrocketing here intraday, pre-market, up 8%. On a weekly, you can see where this has obviously bounced, and we've got a 603 monthly resistance. We've got 603 to 638 as the next channel to get and stay above. But the point is, that is hitting hard the NeoClouds. Look at CoreWeave. Boom, down 11%. Wolf, right here, not so much. IREN, down 3.65%. You get the NeoCloud names are absolutely moving lower. And also, what's the other one? DigitalOcean. Yeah, that's also got a little bit of a nick. Nebius, hit, 13%. Applied Digital, not materials, digital. There it is. APLD also getting hit. Cypher also getting hit. You get the idea. Cypher Digital. So all of those cloud businesses are getting hit on the potential of a new hyperscaler supply in AI compute, which is going to also pressure standalone GPU cloud pricing. Oh, I don't know. Who sells GPUs? Yeah, semis. Right here, NVIDIA, let's see what we got. NVIDIA is down to this 195 from the 200 yesterday. Not a big dump, but it has to break 195 to keep softening. You get the idea. So we have a big pullback right now in the NeoCloud names on this move that Meta is announcing. Meta Compute, a cloud business to sell excess AI compute. And that is the MAGS bounce that was technically predicted, but not with any particular news of who would come in. Anyway, you know what's going on here. MAGS is up because of Meta, and we will see what happens with Amazon and Google. But again, they're buyers, not sellers of this. Right now, semis are under distribution, memories under distribution, NeoClouds are under distribution. Will that stick? That's the question. And then right here, you see this bounce in growth, which was also the MAGS thesis for semi-softness and MAG bounce. Definitely hooked up and up, but it's not above zero, which is a raging bull market. But hyperscalers definitely found a bottom and bounced. All right, and semis are coming back in. Meta, by the way, right into that 603. Beautiful candle, though. I wouldn't, ruled it out as far as being able to get back above 603. So we got the hyperscalers, mega cap tech, whatever you want to say, that are bouncing. IGV is holding that 88.82 to be exact. It literally hit a low of 88.81. So that's been a good lever. It really has. Once it got above, perfect. Peaked out, warned exactly. This is way too much. It was a Monday, and we had the dispersion unwind perfectly. Now it's only bounced. It's not ready. That 200-day still has to flatten out to move higher. So we're still in that nasty little phase. KWEB, however, look at this. Another set of big prints coming in. This is July week 5 for $26 calls. This is right here. So we're talking a month out, not this week. 1, 2, 3, 4 weeks out. You got basically a chaser who's using a 1 month out weekly. I know that sounds confusing, to buy a little bit of KWEB, $26 calls for cheap, 60 cents. Opened at 53, whatever. Last trade, 62 cents, and it's up. And it looks like your bottom fishing play of KWEB, which, by the way, is part of that whole MAGS, extremely oversold with hyperscalers bounce. And yes, it is crazy that the Chinese stocks that are taking over the open source system and for cost efficiencies, massive cost efficiencies, are not getting repriced higher. So the fact that they are rising with MAGS makes a lot of sense to me. It really does. And we're starting to see a lot more options come in. Yesterday, it was crazy option flow. We did this yesterday, right? This was massive. They came in for December and they came in for September and another one. But look at the amount of flow. Hundreds of thousands of contracts that were accumulated yesterday. And that was KWEB. And now we've got some other follow-through trades in options that are absolutely chasing this guy. 1 month out, but they're using weeklies. They're expecting a fast hit. We haven't even gotten into a safety yet for a trend reversal. Nothing is there for trend reversal. For a swing long, we're just starting to get into, for those who like swing long positions, there are certain rules. Anyway, this so far is just a chase. But it's getting sponsorship is what I want to say. So KWEB is definitely getting chased today. And now we have, I don't know if you've noticed, but I'm taking pictures of this because I can see yesterday we had a massive amount of call accumulation. Today we had just 38,000 contracts is now ballooned into 49,000 contracts. Look at IGV go. We have a rotation in play. Seriously, a very nicely timed rotation in play. Semis are not falling apart, but they are soft and sideways. IGV is not a trend reversal, but it is bouncing at a higher level than the April 24th. This was the dispersion unwind on June 1st. It has held a nice little level above this, let's call it 89, but specifically 88.62. It still has a massive amount of work to do to get above 94.5. If it can get back above the 200-day, you're going to see Oracle and Microsoft also join the party.
Join Club to trade with Samantha. Scan this QR code or click the link in the description.